Have you thought about how much technology has become a huge part of our day to day lives? I mean, just take a look at your smartphone, your laptop, perhaps, and different things that you see around you. But have you actually thought about how much technology can affect daily life and daily living? I mean, think about different things like healthcare, education, and all of that. Well, I have one very interesting thing I would like to show you later on the show, actually, not now. So just hang in there if you want to know what I am talking about. Well, you're welcome to Unplug, brought to you by Every NG. Thank you so much for joining. Of course, Unplug is that show that keeps you plugged or unplugged to all the latest updates from all across the world, politics, entertainment, your favorite celebrities, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Victor, and without further ado, we get into what we have for today. First of all, we're going to be celebrating celebrity dancer Kaffy. Now, why are we celebrating her? Well, a lot of Nigerians deemed it fit to celebrate her when she unveiled or revealed her age. Apparently, so many people did not know that Kaffy was actually as old as she revealed herself to be. She did this TikTok challenge and she uploaded the video on her Instagram, and she revealed that she's 40 years old. I mean, if you see the dance video, you see her pointing what is your age? And she pointed out like 40. And a lot of people are like, wow, Kaffy is actually 40 years old. I mean, she looks a lot younger than that, looking real nice and very young, very healthy. I'm like, wow. So a lot of people were in the comments and were like, wow, Kaffy, so you're 40 years old. Wow, you are really taking good care of yourself. The fitness that you're into has really helped you a whole lot and all of that. I'm like, okay, really, really interesting. And let's just hope that maybe she's going to share one or two tips for one or two people who might need a tip or two on how to look younger than your age. Well, anyways, let's move on from that now. Let's talk Pretty Mike and Shay. Now, Nigerian Idol has been on for a while, and you remember the initial backlash about the judges and how they talk to people. So many people have still been complaining about how the judges have been speaking to the contestants. Some people don't really like it. Some people think it's okay. Now, Shay has been a major target because a lot of people have not liked how she speaks to these contestants. If you remember, there was a time Frank Edoho said Shay was a tad too harsh, and not just her, but the other judges as well. Well, now, Pretty Mike of Lagos has come out to attack Shay, and he didn't like the way she spoke to a 19-year-old contestant on the show. I mean, Shay told this young girl that, look, she should forget about it. She cannot sing, and she should not attempt to try singing as a career in her life. She should stay away from singing. And, brother, doesn't that sound a bit harsh? Well, anyways, Pretty Mike did not take lightly what Shay said, and he went on his Instagram page and he posted a story of how when he was much younger and in school, his class had to do a singing competition and all of that, and his teacher was trying to gather a choir together, and he told his teacher that, look, I cannot sing. Told his teacher outright, I cannot sing, but the teacher was like, no, I believe in you, everybody can sing and all of that. Well, Pretty Mike ended up being part of the choir, and they were able to work their way up to the final of the competition, although he admitted that they didn't win. But he was saying that the teacher actually deserves credit because he was able to bring out of people what they thought they did not have, even when they did not believe. Now imagine somebody coming for a competition who believes they can sing, but then one of the judges just kills whatever belief they have or whatever hope. And Pretty Mike did not take kindly to that, and he was like, Shay has to stop it because there's actually nobody who cannot sing. You just need the proper guidance and it will come out. Well, even Shay has said she doesn't care. She believes she's going to lose a lot of fans because of Nigerian Idol. She's probably just basking, the attention. But anyways, I'm not going to say more about that. Now, let's talk about JJC Skillz, the husband of Funke Akindele Bello. Just about 2 days ago, or a few days ago, Funke Akindele got herself a new whip, a very, very beautiful, expensive Lexus SUV. And just a couple of days later, her husband has gotten himself a new whip as well. Also an SUV, although not a Lexus this time, but a Toyota Prado. And all of them brand new, tear rubber. If you saw what Funke Akindele did, she showed a video of how they were tearing, everything off her own car, and they'll have to do the same with her husband's car. And a lot of people were in her comments congratulating her. There was this video she did where her husband was driving in and she was, just hyping the man. Oh, boy, this and that. You deserve it, darling. You've worked really hard. And it was really, really beautiful to see. So congratulations to JJC Skillz and, of course, to the couple. And now let's talk about Jesus, again, who has been in the news for the last couple of days. Of course, you remember her ailments and the situation with Odumeje and Rita Edochie. Well, she actually added another year right there in hospital, but she was not left to herself. A little birthday celebration was organized for her right there in the hospital, and it was organized by an activist and Femi Fani-Kayode's estranged wife. Of course, you remember Femi Fani-Kayode, former Minister of Aviation in the country, still an outspoken politician. His estranged wife was also present at the party, so they were just there to celebrate with her and make her feel loved. So happy birthday belatedly to Ada Jesus, and we hope she recovers quickly enough and is out of hospital soon. All right, now let's talk about Boko Haram. Just about a month ago, Garba Shehu, who is like the presidential spokesperson, talked about the fact that they are working hard to identify those who sponsor Boko Haram in Nigeria. And like I said, Garba Shehu made these statements about a month ago, and we have had a list of about 24 people who have been exposed as bureau de change workers who help people in Saudi Arabia to actually change money, and they find a way to make these payments and sponsor Boko Haram activities, whether it's proliferation of weapons or whatever it is. And it was really interesting. Maybe not so many familiar names for me, but there will be familiar names for whomever it is. I mean, you could know just about anybody on that list because it could be anybody. But it's really good to see that progress is actually being made to stop terrorism, not just curb it, but actually put a complete stop to terrorism in Nigeria. And let's hope for more and more of the same. Okay, now let's talk something on the foreign scene. First of all, the United States of America. About 23 countries, or 32 countries rather, were placed on a certain blacklist where American citizens should not travel to. But that is probably going to be, ramped up really higher, because now the US is set to announce to its citizens that about 80% of countries are not safe enough to travel to. 80% of countries in the world are not safe enough to travel to. Now, sometimes it seems like people are getting complacent about the COVID-19 virus, but the fact is that even WHO, the World Health Organization, has announced that the rate of infections is actually rising right now. Now, coronavirus has claimed more than 3 million lives across the world and over 500,000 in the United States of America. And now they're saying, look, you have to be careful where you travel to. About 80% of countries around the world are not safe enough to travel to. This is going to mean something really significant. Right now, we do not know whether or not some kind of bill or law is going to be passed to that effect to actually outline what exact countries American citizens should not travel to. But this is being taken quite seriously, even despite the fact that vaccinations have been rolled out in so many places in the world. We're still having high number of infections, so this should not be taken lightly. Remember to always stay safe. You know the regulations: wash your hands, mask up, sanitize, and social distancing and all of that. So just ensure that you are safe. Now, remember what I said in the beginning about the extent to which technology is actually affecting our lives. Now, not negatively per se, but positively this time. I said I was going to show you something. Something very interesting is being done in the Netherlands. Dutch special forces have actually, should I say, adopted or employed the services of a special robot dog. Now, this robot dog makes the job a lot easier for human agents because it can go into places where human agents cannot just easily step into, drug reading places. It can go into crime scenes and collect DNA. It can, to a large extent, reduce human contamination of crime scenes and the likes. Those are actually its primary reasons. Now, it is actually being controlled by another agent with some kind of remote controller. It's very, very interesting to see. Remember the other day we were showing you a monkey that was taught or has been, made to play video games with its mind. And now this is yet another very interesting thing we're seeing technologically. And it just, opens a lot of perspectives to crime fighting and security, and makes you ask some very salient questions about fighting crime in your own country. I mean, these days in Nigeria, we don't even see our police forces with real dogs, all those dogs that sniff out tracks and all of that, let alone robot dogs. But it's actually quite good to see that technology is also helping in reducing the rate of crime in the world. Okay, so that is that about that. Now let's talk sports out as we wrap things up quickly. The UEFA Champions League yesterday announced reforms to the UCL competition. UEFA announced this just about 24 hours after the entire whirlwind of controversy that has been raised by the European Super League. We'll get back to that in a bit. But UEFA has announced that these new reforms to the Champions League are going to kick off in the year 2024. And we're seeing an expanded competition, not just 32 teams anymore, but 36 teams, and definitely about 50 more matches. And of course, more of the fun and more money as well for the teams that are involved. But apparently, the big teams in Europe are not satisfied, or did not think they would be satisfied with the reforms of the Champions League. And that is why they decided to break away to set up a European Super League. This is the biggest issue, not just in sports now, but across the world generally, because people are saying that football is being ruined. Now, we have 12 big clubs from across Europe, about 6 of them in England and the other 6 from Italy and Spain, that have broken out to start a breakaway competition known as the European Super League. Now, if the European Super League kicks off, it is effectively going to put an end to the UEFA Champions League. And a lot of people are saying the motivation for this is just plainly the money, to maximize profits and to ensure that these big teams do not have any sort of competition. I mean, they have guaranteed spots in the competition. They cannot get knocked out, or their participation is not based on any kind of sporting merits, just because they are founding clubs and they have a right to be there. So people are saying the concept of integrity in the sport is being killed. So much is being said. People are protesting. Even the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has said that all will be done to stop it. The Spanish government has spoken and said that they are not in support of this. But Florentino Perez, I beg your pardon, president of Real Madrid, is now also the president of the European Super League. He's saying that, look, all these threats you people are making do not actually affect us. I mean, we are protected by the law. UEFA has been threatening to ban players from participating in the World Cup or European Championships if they play in the Super League. But Perez is saying, look, don't even worry. Nothing is going to happen. Nothing of the sort is going to happen. Everybody is protected by the law. We're all safe. Do you think the European Super League is valid? Yes or no? I would like to know in the comment section. And do you think it is actually realistic? Is it actually going to work or not? I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments section. But that is all we have on Unplug for today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And until we come your way again next time with the updates, don't forget, this is every NG. My name is Victor, and until next time, goodbye.